This is Eric Keefe, editor-in-chief of the Quintessential Gentleman.
Hey, how you doing, man?
What's going on, Grantham? How are you?
I'm good, man. It's early over here, but I'm good.
I know. So I just want to jump in here. I want you to just tell me about your character on Empire of Ocean Park.
Uh, I play Talcott Garland on Emperor of Ocean Park, and he is the dutiful son, the great young professor, the abiding husband, and the younger brother of a great, prominent Black family in the upper middle class. But all of that crazy stuff happens to him, and then that all changes, and he learns a lot about himself and about his family and his dear old dad who passes away. And through his father's passing, he learns a lot about these scandals and maybe traumatizing things that have happened in the family.
Tell me what connected you to this character.
I had a lot of ways in for this. I really enjoyed the book. My dad in real life is a judge, not at the level of federal Supreme Courtness, whatever, but I think mostly I'm a middle brother. So I have an older brother, older sister, I have younger siblings.
Mhm.
And just kind of like, oh, the way to definitely honor your parents is to be like the one that listens and the one that learns from his siblings and the one that doesn't make mistakes and the one that like does what he is supposed to do. And I kind of identify with that. Like I was getting straight A's in school. I was trying not to make any noise, keep your head down, work twice as hard. All the Black sayings that I grew up with that were kind of tried to get us to, grow up in such a way where society wouldn't deem us a problem and we would be acceptable and we would be able to go ahead and succeed. So that's where I kind of met Tao as like, oh, you still doing this. Like that is you're doing this with your family, you're doing this with your wife, you're doing this with your father, your job. Like this is your path. And you think that if you stay on this path and you follow all these rules, you don't take a step out of line, that your life will be successful and you'll just be happy. So that it was helpful for me to like have the mentality of when I was growing up and seeing Tao and going, oh yeah, no, there's definitely a life where I could have been you, dude. Um, but thankfully, I like to make a little noise every now and
Awesome, awesome. So I was going to say about the character, but specifically you as well. How important is it from a legacy perspective? I watched the first two episodes, thought the show was amazing, or the series, and I'm eager to continue it. But I do feel this type of pressure, and I feel like, I don't know, maybe specifically Black men also kind of living up to their fathers or trying to make their fathers proud. What is your thoughts on legacy?
I think legacy is something that at sometimes was the only thing we had. The
Mm,
only thing we had as Black men was maybe a name to pass down because we didn't have necessarily generational wealth or other things that like you would be able to leave to your family. So yeah, legacy, I think, especially in our community, is very important. And as far as the show goes, I think the legacy that Forrest's character leaves for my character Tao is one of do as I say, not as I do, possibly. But we as children often don't know everything our parents did to get us to where we are,
mm.
and how they want us to be better and succeed. So I think legacy. I'm using that for the other interviews. Yeah, legacy. I'm
No,
stealing
no,
that.
no. That's for us. That's don't act like you did not hear that. But that's awesome. Also, in terms of working with someone as such legendary as Forest Whitaker, how was that experience? Was there any kind of gems or anything gave you to kind of help you in this space?
Yeah, it was the gym a second. Like being able to actually, because acting is one of those things where everyone has their own way, everyone has their own style, their own, it's as different as humans are different. So getting a chance to like actually get in the kitchen and cook with someone like Forrest, like, and realize like, oh wow, that's how he does it. Well, I might have to do it that way too. Like, and being in a space of like, oh, I don't have to do anything because you're doing it all. Like just learning how to. I was a better actor because I was working with him.
Mm. Awesome. And then talking about just like the family dynamic, I love seeing the representation of affluent and luxurious type of lifestyles from our Black people. I want to know what were your thoughts on playing being specifically in that type of dynamic economically and being able to show that representation.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because if you look at the three siblings and how they live their lives, and you have the older brother played by Henry and his character, Addison, nice suits and the watches, and then technically the people and or women around him. And then you look at Mariah's life, played by Tiffany, and like big house, driving a Rolls, and like affluent and like people that live in house to help her and her kids. And then you look at Tal and his representation; he drives a Honda Civic. Like,
Oh, and then the pink shirt with the green tie, a green bow tie, you know.
yeah, like I think it's definitely. I have a lot of friends who maybe grew up in a wealthy environment, and I always feel like they go one of two ways. Like you either grow up so accustomed to it and comfortable that like for you it's not flashy to have it or wear it, and like, oh, it's just clothes. Like, oh, they'll just go. Or they're the people that kind of downplay it and like, oh yeah, this is my house, whatever. You're like, well, you live here? Like, yeah, 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 but don't tell nobody. Like, I feel like Tal might be more of the latter. Like, he just wants to like blend in and not cause a stir. So if yeah, he might be able to drive the flashy car, but he's like, no, I'm gonna drive a Honda because it's reliable and it gets me where I need to go, and nobody needs to know that. Yeah, if that makes any sense.
So your character, we're finding out kind of deals with just every life kind of drama that regular people, can open eyes and see happens. I want to know going into it, how did you prepare for this role, or was there any real preparation for it?
Well, I had the book to read, and I had Sherman's mind to pick. Sherman, our showrunner and writer, and I do think it's a story that everyone has a way in. Whether family is your way in, or whether scandal is your way in, or whether like the suspense, the thriller, or maybe it's an old fashioned whodunit. Like you just want to get involved for the mystery. But for me, looking into Tao's character, like I was saying, I just saw someone that was like, oh, I very easily could have been you. Um, I think how you think sometimes about things. I definitely have to check myself and go like, no, like it's okay to like cause a stir every now and then. So my way in was just reading the book and talking to the showrunners and writers and figuring out who did we want to be the lens for this world, because you kind of watch the story unfold through Tao's character. So I thought it was really important to be able to make him as truthful as possible.
And my last question for you is, why do you think this story was important to tell?
I think it's an important story to tell because we don't see enough representation of Black families like this. And we being our community and culture, we being they, them, and everyone. Like, I don't think that there's enough. I don't think there can be enough shows about Black people in all various positions, all various political beliefs, all various faith beliefs. So to be able to be a part of one, and especially one that has such a pedigree from a book stance, and then to be working with Warner Brothers and MGM Plus and John Wells Productions, for them to get behind a story like this, I think it can't help but be important. And to get Forest Whitaker to helm it, so that we can be like, look, this is one of ours. He's an Oscar winner, and he's behind this. So I think the story itself is great, but the people that we have to make it, I think, is what makes it even greater.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It was a great couple of episodes, and I'm looking forward to seeing the rest. So thank you.
Thank you.